What is up, homies? Welcome back to the Outlook Industries podcast. It's your host, Trevor Johnson, back in the studio getting another podcast done for you. Today, we have Sam Wiens. He came on again, one of our first guests and one of your favorite guests from the views that it got. And we just kind of talk about some of the prompts that he's had on Support Your Local Gas Station to get people engaged on his channel and give our in-depth opinions on different topics in the scooter industry. I think it's a very informational episode. If you guys agree or disagree, you can let me know either on my Instagram, Outlook_Industries, or in the comment section below if you're listening on YouTube. It would mean the world if you gave this podcast 5 stars if you're listening on Apple Music, and share with a friend if you're on Spotify. That would mean a lot. I'm trying to kind of tell the stories of some of your favorite scooter riders. So if there's anybody you'd like to see on the podcast, I can try to get them on. You can either tag them in my Instagram or down in the comment section below. It'd be awesome if you let me know. But yeah, let's get into this podcast with Sam.
It's the Outlook Podcast. We're here at the Outlook Podcast. Just right here. We're talking to cool people.
Sam, Mr. Sam, back again on Outlook Industries. Welcome, guys. And you guys seem to enjoy Sam when he was on the last one, so we decided to do another one again. Yes,
Round two.
Yes, I have sunglasses on inside. It's fine. There, it's my blue light glasses. No, but yeah, we're gonna just talk about some things. For the most part, though, how's life been, Sam?
It's great. I am extremely excited. It seems like it's kind of one book closing and another opening at this stage of the game.
Yeah, for sure.
I transferred to Fort Lewis last year, and I'm definitely going to be riding it out the rest of my college career here. And the fact that you're coming down in mere months from now is extremely exciting. We're going to be living together, and I think this is kind of the dawn of a new era in terms of both of our futures. I can see this being impacting us in a pretty grand scale way in the next couple of months. So
there's some big news because we're looking at getting a place together. So we've been looking at Sam's been looking at some places, which has been sick. And I'm getting all my things straightened up with going to Fort Lewis. And there's just a lot of big scooter projects coming down the turnpike for us. So keep your eyes out, guys. There's going to be...
the collaboration is going to be next level. It really is.
It really is. There's going to be some great content coming out of Durango, Colorado here in the next year. So keep your eyes peeled. Yeah, for sure. We just kind of thought for this episode, we're just going to kind of go over some of the posts that Sam has had on Gas Station and just like the conversation ones and give like a lengthier answer that we both have for these posts. So the one that you did today, literally 2 hours ago, if you could only ride one feature, what would it be and why?
For me, that seems like one of those at first glance that I might hesitate to find an answer for. Yeah. But I think in reality, that's not really all that difficult for me. No. It's definitely a mellow down rail on a bank, because that feature can be utilized for so many different combinations. And like, who would have thought that, a small metal bar that has a slight decline, or in some cases incline if you're going up it, can offer so many different trick combinations and possibilities. I'm the kind of person that really likes technical as well as kind of stylistic rail tricks. And so, yeah, I mean, when I think about that, I think about the little down rail in Gunnison, which is my original local skate park. The amount of tricks I've learned on that thing, I can't even name. There's no number for the amount of tricks that I've done for the first time on that rail. And so a feature like that definitely is something that it would be tough for me to get bored with. Yeah, you could do combos going up into manual or into fakie. You could carve back around, do a combo down the rail. You could do tricks up the rail and back down. You can not as spin the rail. So many different trick combinations. the sky's the limit as high as your imagination can go. So I think that's the feature that I would select would be the mellow down rail with a bank.
Yeah, and I totally understand that. If only I was good at that feature, or had ever ridden one like extensively. It's just kind of like I'll hit that down rail just like occasionally or up it or whatever, but I haven't really like had a full session on just one of those mellow down rails. So
yeah,
I understand where you're coming from. It's really easy for me and for probably a lot of people to kind of look at that question and be like, I'm just going to say either like a fly out or a box jump because that's all I find myself riding. But like at the end of the day, when I sit down and think about it a little bit more, I find myself gravitating more towards like a big like mani pad with like coping on the edges and like probably like 6 inches tall. So because you could do all your ledge combinations on it and you could just do all the manual stuff, and there's just like endless possibilities. And it's not like as like a box jump. I feel like there's more limitations as to what you could do on it. As far as I like kind of like techie stuff and not just sending myself, because you get to a level on box jumps where it's just like scary. So I find just kind of like messing around in little techie stuff almost more fun. So that'd be mine.
I like your thinking. That's a good choice.
Would be like just a little mani pad. So
yeah.
Should scootering become an Olympic sport? This is a controversial one.
After careful consideration, I am almost completely one-sided on this answer. And my answer is no. Because I just think scootering, like regardless of the maturity of the sport at the moment, and I put the word eventually in there, and that's kind of a key word. Like I did that to imply that if scootering were to really sweep the world on a global scale, I think that like it still wouldn't be appropriate as an Olympic sport. I appreciate competition. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. And I think many competitions that I watch or have seen, attended, or even participated in have been judged fairly, and it's justified the people that come out on top on the podium. But like you had mentioned something about that being how these the kind of the competitions that have a clear winner, such as a race, like in track and field, is definitely more indicative of
Olympics,
an Olympic event, something that shows a clear superior athlete and those that don't quite perform at that capacity. So like, I don't know, scootering is more of an art form to me. I know it sounds cliche as hell. Many people had mentioned that in the post. In fact, I think I pinned a comment about how someone said that it should be looked at more as an art form than a competitive sport. And I agree. However, I'm not going to take away the competition aspect. I think competition is fine for scootering. Totally. Yes. It's totally understandable.
We need it for sure.
It definitely ups the ante in terms of what's possible on a scooter. People people feed off of competition. Yeah. And they feed off the knowledge that they can advance the trick book that's possible in scootering to edge out their competitors. And so I think that's important, but it's just not the appropriate discipline to have an Olympic event. And like, I think the only reason why that was in the conversation to begin with is because of the publicity. People only want the publicity that scootering would gain from the Olympics, and then they would throw it out. I guarantee you. Like they want it to be recognized on a global scale, and then that's it. They wouldn't want it to be to continue to be included or shown in the Olympics. I just don't think it's cut out for this sport, really. So. Yeah,
I totally agree with you, but playing devil's advocate here a little bit, I think I'm looking this up right now. I was looking it up, and skateboarding is going to be in this next Olympics, which is
BMX freestyle. Yeah.
Yes, that's what I was looking up right now. As I have BMX freestyle pulled up, but
I think that
with seeing how those sports will do as Olympic sports, will really kind of judge and see if it'd even be optional for scootering to be a part of that. I just, when it comes to judging scooter competitions, I just can't see how you can really judge like a combination rail trick to a double overhead like air trick. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like how do you judge, wow, that ledge trick was really hard, but is it harder than Jamie Hull doing a double backflip quad whip? Like it's just like the send factor and the technical ability. I guess there's ways of saying like how well-rounded you are and those kind of things, but I just can't see it being worth the politics that would come from it. I just think there'd be a lot of politics involved in that kind of competition, which lots of people, I was looking at my comment that I put on yours because I talked a lot about how I think that scootering is an art form and that it should be looked at as like a creative outlet. Just as much as it is like a competition sport. And I think competition is really important, but I don't think you need to be the best, most biggest throw yourself around rider to have a bunch of publicity. So you just need to think of it more as like an art form and just be creative with it. And I appreciate that a lot, but I can see how you can also get in that people thrive in that competitive environment where they're just like, I'm going to be the best I can possibly be at every trick and just know everything. And like Cody Flom is like the king of that. Like he kind of trains like he's always going to be in a competition, and him and John and a lot of those other competition riders, that's just how they've grown up, is in that competition scene. So I could totally see it being in the Olympics. I just don't know if it'd be the best for our sport.
Agree. And I think I wanted to kind of add a little bit more onto what I had mentioned.
Yeah, of course.
I think something that is sort of like identifiable in scootering is that I think our sport is meant to be underground. That might be a very like hot take type opinion, but like when I think of scootering, I am so glad that I continue to think of kind of, set aside sort of non-traditional, those are the kind of words that I think of when I attribute them to scootering. And to have them be these really common sports, I feel like would make me feel a little bit less special. Not that I need that feeling to do something, but like that is the quintessential characteristic that our industry has, I think. That not many others can say that they do. Not many other industries have that sort of identity and survive like scootering has. Scootering has lived for almost 2 decades, more than 2 decades now. So that's a testament to the strength of the industry and also the identity of the industry. So I think that's pretty, that's something that I feel like the Olympics could pretty easily take away. Yeah. So,
well, look at skateboarding, because skateboarding kind of was that underground thing that nobody did, that nobody really knew about. And it was just like this rebel thing that kids did when they didn't like have something they identified with that was normal. But they kind of got all these competitions and now they're in the Olympics, and we've almost taken the spot of that kind of like underground scene, more like what skateboarding used to be. And that's why a lot of skateboarders don't like scooter riders, they just almost feel attacked, which
I think that's actually very valid.
They feel like we're kind of what they used to be, especially some of the older skaters, and it's just like our industry's getting there, and I don't think we're going to have this vibe that we have right now forever, or maybe even not for another decade. It just kind of depends how things go, and social media is really expanding how well known it is. So I don't know how much longer we have in this kind of non-traditional idealism of it, I guess.
Yeah, that'll be a huge variable, honestly. It really will. And like, I think it almost seems to me like the reason that the skateboarding industry kind of loathes the scootering industry in a sense is because I think that they don't like the fact that their industry has progressed the way it has. And I know that may sound kind of weird because popularity is through the roof in skateboarding. Like, everyone and their grandma knows what skateboarding is. Like, that's regardless of what year you were born. But like, scootering in the current state that it's in is like skateboarding in the 60s and 70s. You know, it's extremely young. It seems innocent, but it's kind of bizarre to the public. And like, I just think that skateboarding kind of misses those days in a sense. And they're like, oh, scootering has that. They're undeserving of that. They aren't at the same caliber that skateboarding was at that time. We deserve that. We deserve that back, not you. And I feel like scootering doesn't take anything personally. Yeah. And so we don't identify as the old skateboarding. We identify as simply scootering, just scootering. We are our own entity, and I don't think anyone's gonna be able to take that away from us. So I think we just got to stay the course, honestly. Stay humble, stay underground. There's no need to rush. I think scootering is in an absolutely adequate position at the moment.
Yeah, it's amazing how different it's viewed in different parts of the world too. Because I feel like it's way more well known in like Australia and England and those places than it is here, or even some of the other major countries. Like, I feel like China and places like that don't have as many riders that are like as outspoken as we are.
Oh, I think a lot of that has to do with the culture as well. It's not just the amount of people that do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I'm perfectly content with where scootering is sitting at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. Next question. If you could only do one trick, what would it be?
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah, this one sucks.
This one so sucks, dude.
I will tell you.
Yeah, you go first.
What I said. Oh, I said Bri flip in the comments. Mostly because
it's a pretty traditional scooter trick there. It's like
exactly because I feel like it's
exclusive to scootering.
It's our first like identifiable scooter trick.
It's the first exclusive scooter trick that kind of set scootering apart in terms of the trick book from other action sports.
Exactly, and it just feels the best on I can do it on anything. So
it does feel good. I like that one too. Wow,
it's just so basic.
Yeah, like you definitely don't want to think too hard about this. You know,
that's what I thought because. Like, you can be like, lots of people are like, oh, if I could only do one trick, I do double backflip or whatever. It's like, well, you're not doing double backflip.
No, you want it. No, you want it.
No, you want it. Yeah, exactly. Now I'm only going to do up rail, double backflip. Like,
probably a front side fakie hanger, just because that trick looks and feels like magic. That is the scooter trick manifestation of true magic. Like I feel like, and it sounds cliche, you feel like you're floating and you feel like you're just like, it's so bizarre how that trick takes you to a different place than every other scooter trick does. It just feels so otherworldly to be in that perfect lock position on a rail and just know that you're tweaking it as far as you can and dipping it and cuffing the wheel at just the right angle.
Yeah.
That trick truly is awesome. Great for photos. Feels amazing. If you hold it long enough on a long, really kind of consistent, mellow down rail.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna have to look.
Fantastic trick. That's a trick everyone should learn, and for some reason people aren't learning.
So. I just suck at front boards, so I've been bodied a couple.
Yeah, and it's almost completely displaced from a front board. It feels a little bit different from a front board.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have kind of it's not front board necessary, really, in my opinion. I mean, it'd be nice and it helps a little bit of the balance, but not overly. So
yeah. Well, I kind of want to open this question up a little bit more, and instead of just one trick, one type of trick.
One type of trick?
Like in the things, in the idea of like rewinds, overheads.
Kind of one category of classification.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Oh man.
I know what mine would be for sure. Mine would definitely be grab tricks, like T-bog.
I like that too. And I was thinking about something else as well. Downside tricks are sick.
Yeah. Yes.
I love downside tricks.
I do too.
Okay, here. I'll give an example of a trick that I feel like would be just so sick to do every try. Imagine doing downside full whip T-bog front side on an air.
Downside full T-bog
front side.
Ooh, that would be nice.
That would just feel so cool, dude. You have absolute control of the scooter, but you also kind of it's flashy without being too over the top.
Yeah, I would like to do more like north bogs instead of just doing T-bogs. I think those look so good.
Yeah, no, for sure, definitely.
But yeah,
over a hip or like a spine.
Yeah, grab tricks are they just look so good. So that's where mine is.
And they feel great if you can hold them for a while. Like if you do a T-bog air backside and you hold it to the last second.
Yeah, exactly. If it wasn't grab tricks, it'd be overheads for me. I just think overheads feel so magical. And I'm not talking like crazy overheads. I'm talking like simple,
the basic ones.
Yeah,
the basic ones. Bri whip, regular bri whip, buttercup, whip front, inward. Back scoot, inward.
Oh my god, back scoots feel. I was trying this one yesterday. It's called a P flip. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so. Maybe.
Where it's like you grab like your down tube of your bars, and then you like twirl it around. It's whack, dude. I saw somebody else do it. I was like, I had to try it. But 360 back scoots look amazing.
I need to do that. You know what else I do? I also want to do downside back scoot to fade.
Yep.
I just think that would. I think I'd get that. Like I'd get that quicker. I think, but yeah. Two equally cool looking and cool feeling tricks.
Well, I think the segues into what do you think is the gnarliest trick ever done kind of conversation.
Dang. That's a tough one.
I hate there are so many tricks that I forget about.
I mean, wow, dude. Probably, I think it's the free willy. Sorry, the free willy. I think the free willy is just like, I think even the other tricks that seem to be more impressive that have been done at our Willy Land into the airbag don't quite measure up to what the free willy really is.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're quite the same. That trick's kind of in terms of those types of tricks, kind of the body burial, knucking front, away from your scooter type tricks, like those things, they're all impressive. They're all crazy. But that one, there's just something about the original that the sequels don't have.
There's so much just like
variables
in the clip in the middle when he's upside down that he has no idea what's going on and doesn't even know if he's grabbing a scooter. Like,
and he's like full on tucking his shins in. I just think that's just so crazy. I never thought I'd ever see someone in the middle of a scooter trick tucking their knees in. That's pretty crazy to me.
Completely tucking and not touching their scooter.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's wild. I want to say Clayton's tornado plant on the mega ramp.
Ooh. Okay.
That I couldn't imagine can plant fronting into a 27.5-foot quarter. I'm sorry.
That's definitely one of those that's like, seems very high risk.
Yeah.
High reward, but super high risk. I remember when I saw that, like, I mean, you can nitpick tricks like that all you want.
Yeah.
Oh, he hopped once on the can plant. Oh, he planted for too long. I wish that he went back in quicker. You can nitpick every little detail about those tricks. But I read this interview, or maybe it was a podcast with Clayton about that, where it seemed like he kind of like he said that trick was completely like you have to just throw it and there's no real technical aspect involved with it.
Yeah.
He said that when he did the fronty in, it seemed like he was each time he was just not really committing, but he said he was throwing the flip as hard as he possibly could each time.
Yeah.
So the fact that like he's throwing as hard as he can and still didn't over rotate into a 27.5-foot quarter pipe is pretty bizarre.
Yeah, so, no, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think that trick is pretty nuts for sure.
Yeah, I think that one's just crazy. Just doesn't make any sense, logical sense to me. Like I never got to ride that ramp.
It's big.
Still, yeah,
I rode it. It's big.
Okay, most overrated and underrated scooter trick.
Overrated trick. It's funny that people like, I'll probably get trashed on for saying this, but like a heel whip is overrated. However, it's not if you do it right. Like, it's easier than a tail whip. Don't even at me. It is easier than a tail whip. It takes way less muscle, takes way less effort to get it around.
Yeah.
Way less, dude. I could do way more heel whips, like heel whip flat, heel whip flat, heel whip flat, consistently in a row and outlast tail whips tenfold. It takes way less effort. There's not near as many parts of it. It's pop, front foot, slight flick, land. Tail whips, hop, back foot off, front foot flick, catch, bring it back both feet. And that's just like too much.
You throw?
Yeah, I throw. Yeah, both whips, front foot.
Oh,
and you may not, and that's the thing. People may not think that they do, but they do. Like the last foot to leave your deck is the one you kick with, and that's the front foot on tail whips for almost everyone.
Oh, really?
I've yet to meet someone that deliberately kicks back foot on a tail whip. Like you're telling me that you lift your front foot up and only use your back foot to kick it out. You kick with your back foot, and your front foot's the one that guides it before throwing it.
Yeah. Yeah, true. Unless I'm doing like, if I'm doing like bar whip, it's very much, oh no, like if I'm doing whip bar whip, it's very much my back foot.
Well, I feel like maybe on the second whip, you catch it with your back foot and don't put your front foot on.
Yeah.
Maybe. And that makes sense. Yeah. And it's when you see it, you're like, oh, it's always back foot. You're like, you're flicking with your back foot, but you really kind of aren't. Like
that's very true. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. There's a lot of front foot, or at least
a lot of front foot.
I mean,
same with the heel whip.
Heel whip is very much front foot. There's
think about what a kickless. Think about what your feet look like when you push a kickless out, and don't tell me you did do it back foot. Come on, it's front foot.
It's front foot.
Yeah. I just think people don't do heel whips the right way, and I think people don't do heel whips enough. People rely way too much on tail whips because it's so safe to catch, and that's ridiculous too. Because I almost feel more comfortable landing heel whip than tail whip.
No,
I'm definitely natural tail whip. I'm natural tail whip. I feel comfortable doing both very equally though.
Yeah, I have had the hardest time with heel whips, mostly because I screwed my ankles up a lot landing really hard, really like heel heavy, and then dragging and rolling my ankles.
A lot of it also is foot position.
Yep.
On that trick, people, their brain can't like work it out at the start, and they kind of give up midway through. They're like, well, I'll just do toe whips. You know, that's what I did. I didn't learn heel whip until maybe almost a year into scootering.
What?
Which is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it's one of those tricks that I think people should perfect way more in scootering.
Yep.
So I guess maybe it's kind of underrated, but it's also overrated because the way people do it is terrible. I hate seeing a bad heel whip be done. In terms of other tricks that are overrated, truck drivers, I think inwards are pretty overrated, probably because of the fact that mine look like absolute dookie nuggets.
Yeah, Sam, you have to be able to do a trick to judge it.
Yeah, okay, well, I've done that trick, just not well. Backflips, way overrated.
Oh, backflips are so overrated.
Flares are underrated because they feel sick. 540 airs, underrated. They feel sick.
540.
T-bog, any grab trick, underrated.
Yep.
Inverts, turn downs, tabletops, underrated.
I feel like those were way more done
back in the day.
Yeah. Now, like, nobody.
No one wants to do cool style tricks anymore. People just want to do flashy shit that they barely land.
Oh my God! Don't get me started.
Yeah, I'd say those are my overrated, underrateds right there.
I would say, as far as overrated tricks, I feel like the Woodward tricks are overrated. Nothing front scoots, backflips,
kickless,
kickies, yeah,
kicky.
Oh no. Underrated. 3 down whips. Not enough people do 3 down whips, I think.
Oh, underrated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay.
No, they're underrated. Same with 360 bri flips, dude. Nobody does 360 bri flips anymore. I don't know why.
My friend Tanner just learned those, and he's super hyped on them. And I'm like, yes, dude. Rotations with overheads is such a sick concept.
I know, and they feel so much better than doing them straight.
Exactly.
When I see somebody do like bri buttercup straight, I'm like, that couldn't have felt good.
Yeah, really.
Like, there's no feeling in the world like doing like a 360 buttercup and catching it.
Dude, that was probably one of the most glorious tricks I've ever done. It just felt amazing to do that. Yeah.
If you haven't seen Sam's video part in AO, go watch it right now. It's
got one of them in it, and it's pretty satisfying in my opinion. So,
yeah, it is very satisfying.
Appreciate it. We just hit 10K views on that banger.
Nice. Yeah. Heel fingers.
Oh, I should have said that.
That trick. Nobody does it.
As hell.
It's so cool.
Board slide up rail to heel finger.
People do it all the time as like they'll do finger kickless and they'll do heel finger to kickless.
Yeah, and I'm like,
what? They don't just do heel finger.
What a waste. Yeah,
I know. Because it looks so good. If you can do like heel finger and then like back foot catch, oh my gosh! Or like a heel finger to bar, I could just.
Or heel finger frontside air like Cody did in his Olay run.
That was insane. Yep.
And his best line. Shout out Jared Allison, by the way.
Yeah. Jared on it. But I'm trying to think of other overrated and underrated tricks.
An underrated trick is a nose manny. Those things are nutty.
Oh yeah.
And fakey nose mannies, underrated.
Mannies in general, I feel underrated.
Mannies are pretty underrated if you do them right. If you do them right, they're underrated.
No, they're underrated because people don't ever take the right amount of time to learn them.
Yeah, exactly. They either don't do them or they do them with break and only for like a small portion of time.
That's how I feel about rails too. I feel like there's a lot of people who are they just skip actually learning.
They're like incompetent on them, dude.
Yeah.
The amount, like Cody Flom is the first person that will tell you this. Fundamentals. That is the key to establishing yourself as a well-rounded scooter rider, dude.
Yep.
There's kids that learn backflips 1 month into scootering and can't cruise in fakie to save their life.
Yeah, no.
That is unacceptable. But yeah, I'd say those are some pretty solid.
Plenty of kids who can backflip but can't tail it flat, and it's just painful.
Yep. It is. It's really discouraging, honestly.
It's cool for like 10 minutes until they're backflipping out of everything. And you're like, oh, can they do anything else? No.
Yeah.
No, they can't.
Yep.
Underrated rider that I think of when I think of this is Tristan Anderman. I feel like Tristan's underrated.
Dude's got probably the best air tricks of anyone. Best no-handers in scootering, hands down. I don't think it's funny. Best no-handers, hands down, even though his hands are up.
Yeah, nobody does bar tucks like Tristan Anderman does.
Yeah, he's got great what are they called? Oh my gosh. Benihanas. Great Benihanas.
Yes.
Really good flare tucks. Really good lip tricks. Really good transfer tricks. Bowl to bowl.
Oh yeah. He rides bowls really well.
That's someone that we gotta get on. That you gotta get on the
for
potty.
Sure. For sure.
Get on the potty.
Let's play
the potty. The potty.
Sam, stop. It might stick if you keep saying it. All right. What's the most stereotypical scootering phrase?
Does it fold, TSA agent?
My comment?
Trevor's comment. Glorious. Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time I've heard that going through security, like
if I had a nickel for every time I went through an airport with my scooter, I'd have 2 nickels, but that's enough.
I mean, I think that's just like the most iconic. You're a scooter rider when
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like the very stereotypical ones. Are you sponsored? Can you backflip? Do a tail whip?
There's room. There's
scooter ground. Gang.
There's ground for do a backflip though, because that is everybody that hates you. We'll say that.
Or kids that only think inverted tricks are praisable in scootering.
Yeah. Am I riding in a comp? No, backflips aren't everything.
Yeah. Oh, perfect.
Backflips.
Flips win comps, as sad as it is.
They do.
Sad as it is.
You don't do a tail up in your run, but you do a 540 flare? Well.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little more technical. If you do a backy fly out on the top of a box in your run, and then someone else, their run is next, and they do a double whip over the same box and go tranny to tranny, their trick should score higher. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that double whip is definitely more technical. Because at first, when you're learning backies, they're kind of weird, but
yeah.
I got them like every try, like 99% success rate already.
Yep. So yeah. That's probably good for that question.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking down a little bit. What does scootering need right now? A lot of things.
To be humbled. Absolutely.
True. Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing on my list, is to be humbled. To just completely eradicate the ego from inside this community. It is sickening that people think that they already are on top of the world as a scooter rider. We don't even want that, and people think that they have it already. I just think that's pretty sad, honestly. I just think people need to take it down a notch and appreciate what scootering provides for you, rather than what what you can get out of others in the industry. Don't be seeking sponsorships. Don't be trying to win games of scoot to say you're the best rider. Don't be trying, don't be trying to be the best rider in your friend group. Don't do it because you think it's now becoming trendy. Do it because you love to ride your damn scooter. Why is that any harder for people to think about,
Oh, the amount of kids who think they're really cool because they either placed in a comp or whatever, and you're like, understand that there are a handful of people in this entire sport that can say they live off of scootering.
Yeah. And I mean, that shouldn't even be your goal. If you started scootering to earn a living from it, you're going to quit. I guarantee you.
Well, yeah, you're going to get to a point where you realize that that's not how it works.
Yeah, and you're gonna lose passion regardless. So.
That's true. Unless you have another passion for videography or making YouTube content or whatever, it's not just gonna be like I'm gonna scooter and post my 45-second once a week.
There's like without sponsorship or product endorsement currently in the industry, it's not nearly big enough. I think it won't be big enough for another 10 or so years.
Yeah. I've never had sponsored. I don't really, honestly, I'm not really looking for one. So
you don't need one.
I don't need one.
Okay. Underrated scooter trick, doing a backside, I'm sponsored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backside, I'm sponsored. Are you sponsored? Yeah.
I mean overrated scooter trick. Sorry. The best overrated scooter trick you can possibly do is a nice clean backside, I'm sponsored.
I just, the only thing that irks me occasionally is the fact that I'm 21 years old and I can't say I'm pro. It just, like, when I'm talking to people who aren't in the industry and they're like, why do you still ride a scooter? You're an adult.
Yeah, it's funny though, like you're at that caliber of a rider and a representative of the industry that I think that you could justifiably say that you're pro level though. You know?
Yeah, but I
think you have the pro skills. I think you have the pro sort of influence, but that doesn't really mean anything, I guess, unless you're paid, you get parts, you're announced officially on the pro team. You know.
Yeah, I don't think I could even really say I was pro ever, because it's just like I'd never be satisfied with I'm this.
Yeah,
you're working for something. You're always working to get better, right? So,
right, exactly. Yeah, totally.
I don't know. What is the most iconic scooter part ever made?
Cam Ward district deck.
Grenade clamp.
That's another good one. Lucky SMX fork is up there.
Oh, yes.
Phoenix Revent deck is up there.
Envy stripper bars. Probably over the stripper bars, the Reaper bars.
Yeah, the Reapers. V1 Reapers.
Thanks, Tanner Fox, for making those such a big deal.
Yeah. Apex Bull bars.
Oh my god.
Too bad that Jessica Boland didn't get any royalties from those things. Those are her SIG bars. That's why they're called Bull bars. It stands for Jessica Boland. Boland. They're her signature bars, and no one recognizes them as such.
Really? And those were the bars to have for so long.
Essential bars, dude. Everyone that wanted to be Jed Adams, that wanted to be Jesse Bays, that wanted to be Dylan Morrison back in the day, they rode Bull bars, and they're Jessica Boland SIG bars.
Yep. Apex was just if you didn't ride Apex, you just weren't it. I mean, I never rode it.
Yeah, I never did either. Yeah.
No, I was always Envy something or another.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been good for me, honestly.
Yeah, I think those are some good choices.
Growing up with Envy was good. I don't think I'm too big for riding their parts now. It feels like, unless I could do a deck, but I feel like I need SCS at this point. So
yeah. I think, dude, even a tilt setup Apex setup with SCS and one of their 5 wide box ended decks.
Yeah, that deck would be awesome.
Golden. That'd be super sick setup.
Yeah. But
shout out to Connor Ransley, because he rides one of those and it's so sick.
Is it nice?
No, dude, it's so nice. Yeah, that thing. And even the colorway is always super good. It's some sort of smoky dynamic colorway with black and yellow, or black and gray, black and white, black and red. It just looks so good every time they have a new setup. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think those are pretty solid.
Yeah. Go down a little bit. Ooh. Who's the best all-around rider in the world?
Tommy.
Final
answer. Next question. No, Tommy and Juzzy and Dylan Morrison, probably. Those are my top 3. And then I'd squeeze Max Peters into that list. He's got the best players in the world, hands down. But like, yeah, Morrison, Peters, Juzzy, and my personal biased favorite, Tom Cristiano.
Matisse,
Narod.
Yep.
I think Naroud. However you pronounce his name. Kid that did the nuttiest
he has
handicap rail combo ever.
Yeah, him. He has
50, back lip, hurricane, fakey double peg, cab flare.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. He's
got it all. His trick book is endless.
Yeah, he is very well rounded, and he is for how much skill he has, he's very underrated.
Oh, in terms of like followers and
Oh
yeah, no. I think he's got maybe 70K if that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he should be up in 300K.
Up with the big dogs. I was so surprised that his SIG deck or his, what was it, Welcome to Pro video?
Yeah.
Like I was like, people are gonna see this ender and this video is gonna get millions of views. That video has like maybe 30K views still.
Yeah, I know. It's not like our Willie's web edit 3 or people.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Religiously.
Yeah. Oh wait. Oh shit. I mean, shoot. The best trick of all time. I changed my mind.
What?
I changed my mind. If you want to put this in like one of those Insta things, I think this will be kind of cool for people to hear. The best trick ever done on a scooter, in my opinion, is hands down Ryan Williams at Caloundra Skate Park. Backflip, nose manual, backside 180 into the little 3-foot to fakie fronty. That is hands down the gnarliest trick I have ever seen on a scooter. I don't think people are going to top that trick for the next 10 years.
Oh,
that is,
no way.
The level of difficulty on that trick is completely unmatched. Like, imagine doing a backflip to nose manny.
Imagine
and then shifting your body weight to do a back 180 into a 3-foot, really abrupt quarter pipe. Control that intense speed. Get ready for a fronty on a really mellow quarter, and then ride out smooth. Literally, like, I can't even fathom approaching doing that trick. It's so next level.
Yeah, no, the backflip, if he did backflip nose manny and just dropped in, even that alone it
would still be nuts. It would still be crazy. Yeah.
Because imagine getting into a nose manny from a backflip. No.
Mm-hmm. I can't even picture that. Dude, the amount of trust you have in your scooter as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like my teeth and I like my scooter as well.
Yeah, no kidding. Because he went to a
the amount of force on your forks doing that. Holy
just dunk right onto your front.
Yeah. Can't even imagine. And then I can't even imagine. And it took him ages too.
It'd be so hard to land and be able to balance.
Yeah.
Can't he do it like consistently to hang 5?
Fairly. Even that's nutty though, dude.
Yeah. Because he can swing his leg and
any inverted rotation to landing on your front wheel
or a wheel.
No one can do, like, straight up.
Yeah, I haven't figured out flip manis yet.
I want to so bad. We're doing that this year.
Yeah, we're doing that
out of the 8-foot.
Yeah, it's totally doable.
Flip manis.
If I can make it out of the 8-foot, that is.
You can do flips out of the 8-foot, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just got to get used to the fly out again. Yeah.
I just have to not pull like I usually do. That's my problem. I like jump when I do them. I don't like suck up.
Oh yeah. No, kind of just let the ramp do a little bit of the work for you.
Yeah, exactly. Which will be easier on a bigger ramp, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, what's the what do we got next? Oh, I already talked about that one.
I think I know what it is.
What?
What is the most influential video part ever made?
The most influential video part ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel like the amount of views that Web Edit 3 got, that's going to make that a very influential video part in the future for a lot of the riders that are starting right now. But for what got us into scootering, I think Terry Price's mini video definitely did a lot.
Paved the way for sure for a huge generation of riders.
After that double backflip happened, people were like, "Oh, this is like serious." So
yeah,
that's kind of about the time I started scootering anyway. So I was watching those videos a lot, and then what is something films? What's his name?
Nikkei Films.
Yes, all of his videos.
Yeah, all of Nikkei's videos. I remember I made this post about that, and Sean Williams was like, "Everything Nikkei Films has ever made."
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Nikkei definitely attributed to a lot of his. Yep. I think our Willy Web Edit 2 is probably up there. Like, people kind of tend to brush that one under the rug after 3 came out.
Yeah.
2 is huge. I think another one that people tend to kind of overlook is Zach Martin, Wasted Grippers promo.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that video.
That video is really like that video is heavily referenced in scootering still to this day.
Yeah.
And I think that one's kind of up there.
And I think that that's a video part, but I think just video in general, anybody that's tried to do any documentary, anything, like 9th and Little Raven, right? Isn't that what's
19th and Little Raven.
19th
and Little Raven. That may not be the most influential because the view count is pretty low still.
Yeah.
But my goodness, is that a representation of scootering?
Yeah.
To anyone listening or watching this right now, go watch that video immediately. That video is absolutely beautiful. It's like probably the closest we're going to get to a scootering movie in a long time. That movie has that. Huh? Unless we write one or something. Yeah. Like that. That is the most emotional scootering video I've ever watched, hands down.
Yeah.
Like it just makes you feel something, you know.
Yeah.
Go watch it. 19th and Little Raven on Tilt YouTube channel.
Yeah, Tilt's full parts, or they're like full length.
Oh, Isaac Tilt 2, crazy, super influential.
Yeah, Isaac's Tilt 2 is really good.
Same with Tom K's Tilt 2. I liked his a lot. Probably that Coda Razor scooter video was great back in the day.
Yeah.
Remember
what?
Coda Razor scooter video?
Yes. That's a crazy video.
Brandon James District Scooters back in the day.
Oh yeah, I watched
with the song "Thug" by Slim Thug in the background. That was on every kid's MP3 for miles back in 2011.
The Wazea's
Day in the Life,
not Day in the Life, but his AOS V3 or V2 promo. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, okay,
El Chapo behind it. That one was so good. I loved that video so much.
Oh, another one that I mean may not be the most influential, but just the best scootering videos to me. Blunt trips. Blunt tours everywhere in the world. Scandinavia, London. They went to like Prague and Russia and South Africa of all places. Yeah. Those videos are completely timeless. And
they are.
Amazing filming. Roots Boy Production does a fantastic job on those.
Yep.
Great spots, great trick selection, great riders, great representation of the scootering community, in my opinion.
The new Ethic video is insane.
All the Ethic videos are crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Tommy and Nick, nuts. The new one, crazy. All of JD Randry Ambelson's videos are nuts.
Yeah.
What is it? Oh my goodness. 6 months later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy. I think Barzy, my good homie Will Barlow's part in Epic 6 months later is so underrated. It's the one where the ender was that flip drop into that Arizona bank thing.
Yes.
Like off the highway.
Off the highway, yeah.
Nuts.
Yeah. That clip is crazy.
Yeah.
And the coalition videos have really
those are ridiculous too. And there's currently a competition going on right now called Dissidents This Is Scootering.
Yeah.
And it's the same deal, but it's kind of in the home areas of where you are, and you can kind of just do whatever, wherever.
Yeah.
And that Australia team is stacked, dude. They've got like Will Scott, Kai, Juzzy, I think Dylan Morrison, like
yeah.
They've got everyone, dude. It's gonna be nuts.
I mean, they all live there, so
yeah.
Jeez.
I was thinking that maybe we could like talk a little bit about what we're gonna try to do when you're here.
Yes, let's do it.
Is that cool? Because I think we finished up the questions there.
Yeah, I think so too.
So yeah, like, is there anything that I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound like the host or anything.
No, go for it.
Is there anything that you are looking forward to the most in terms of like content creation or what we're going to experience when we're here?
I'm really actually excited just to get more equipment and just have somebody else has the same kind of creative outlook on things as me. I'm really interested in your screenplay. So I think it'd be really cool to actually start working on that and get that started. But even more, I just want to create more content that engages more people into scootering, more even so than just engaging the scooter community, but just growing the sport, getting people to see the sport more. And I think we have the opportunity to kind of expand outside of scootering to bring more people in and just kind of get our name out there, not like our names, but like scootering out there more just to the general public. So that totally. My whole goal for a long time has just been to get the household name of scootering back to like what we do instead of, like the motorized ones that I hear every day of my life. And then
and then there's always that awkward interaction where it's like, yeah, like BMX or skateboarding, but with a scooter instead.
No, I'm like, like those Razor kick scooters that you buy at Walmart, but like, better.
Like one of them little foldy Razor thingies.
Yes. Yeah. One of those, but like it doesn't fold.
Yeah. One of those, except it burns a hole in your pocketbook.
Even at Shields where we sell them, I have some of my managers and stuff. They're like, I thought this was just something that kids buy for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they just like, don't touch it again. And I'm like, well,
people always ask me, when are you going to graduate to skateboarding? Never.
Yeah. What do you mean graduate?
You know why I'm never going to graduate to skateboarding? Because scootering is way more fun.
Well, I mean, I'll grab a skateboard occasionally and ride it because I think.
Yeah, I'm happy to mess around and learn new things on different apparatus, but at the end of the day, scootering is more fun to me.
Yeah.
And so I don't see that there's any reason for me to prove any further why I do it and not the mainstream pop culture sports like people expect.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, because if I skateboarded or if I did anything else, I wouldn't have a chance of being anybody there either. So like,
yeah, like, sorry, I don't live up to your expectation with a smushy Thrasher sweatshirt thrown over me hastily with a bunch of pizza stains on the side and a anarchy tattoo on my ankle.
And addiction to IPAs.
Yeah, exactly.
PBRs.
Addiction to PVRs. Yeah. But no, dude, I think sounds like a great plan. And I am over the moon. I wish summer was already over so we could get started. I know you don't because you're working at Woodward and you're going to have an incredible time.
Yes, hopefully.
Yes. I just creating this studio is going to be tons of fun.
Oh yeah, the studio is going to be so sick.
Building it all up. I have $50 worth of posters lined up in my
ready to go
in my Amazon cart right now. So that should be really cool. I've got a Breaking Bad one. I've got a Mandalorian one. I've got a Walking Dead one. I've got a really cool looking Joker one.
Oh yeah.
And I've got the Django one over there as well. So this thing is going to be really cool. We're going to look like real professionals. Not only are we going to look like real professionals, we are going to create like real professionals.
Yes.
And I'm I'm just really anticipating that happening.
I feel
the screenplay as well.
The creative industry, like all the content creation, you're not really like a professional. You just decide one day that you're going to be a professional.
Exactly.
So no like,
so true.
There's no like, oh, now you like have completed this, so you are now a professional. It's like, no, you just decide one day that you're a professional.
There is no threshold in the creative, in the creative art space industry as a whole. Yep. So I'm really looking forward to that. The screenplay as well. If I can get it finished by the time summer is over, which would be a pretty tough task, then great. I'd love to get it filmed soon after it's completed, cast people for it. Just build up my resume with you, dude. Like I just think that's gonna be the ultimate goal at the end of the day, and have a ton of fun doing it.
At the end of the day, I just want
podcast.
At the end of the day, I just want to create things that I'm proud of.
Like totally, same with me. There's nothing more that I could possibly ask for than to feel content and proud of the work that I've created.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, you're going to have the ability to continue growth with Outlook. We're both going to collaborate quite a bit on Gas Station. I'm hoping you're interested in doing that, because dude, it's going to be even better. Like, we've been through I'm like at the end of the Shrek phase. This is the Shrek 2 phase now, which is equally as good, if not better, than the original for the first time ever. So like, I'm really excited about that. We'll be doing tons of skits and cool stuff like that, utilizing the studio in all different aspects. Ignacio Skate Park, probably being able to spend more money on things, going out to eat. It's gonna be great. So I'm really excited.
So excited for Ignacio. That place is gonna be so sick.
Yeah, really amazing. Anything that anyone suggests or pops into our mind, I know we're gonna have the capability to do. So I'm excited about it.
Sweet. Well, thank you, Sam, for coming on the podcast again. It's been great.
Oh yeah, it has. We had some good conversation this time. I'm glad we could talk more about scootering, and hopefully people dig it.
Of course. Where can we follow you?
You can locate me at Sam Wiens on Instagram and Snapchat, SAMWIENS, and Support Your Local Gas Station on Instagram. Only the most quality memes.
The most quality scooter memes on the internet.
And they're only gonna get better.
They are only
with Trevor's help. So.
Hopefully, for sure. All right. Well, thank you again, Sam, for taking some time out to talk to me. And guys, thanks for listening to the podcast. I will be gone out of the country this next week and a half or so. So just expect to see less. I will try to get 1 or 2 podcasts out while I'm gone, just scheduled. But everybody's been really busy right now, so it's been hard to try to find some people that are able to come on. But if I do, you'll see some then. But if you see less uploads from me, that's why. And thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.